A very warm and hearty welcome to one and all. We extend a very warm welcome to the Power Series speakers today for the webinar titled Empowering Entrepreneurial Mindset in Students. So I think we will have more than 100 students join us today. And let us just wait for a grace period of another 5 minutes before we can enter into the session. This webinar, Empowering Entrepreneurial Mindset in Students, is brought to you by Curio Kids, Pioneers in STEM Education, and Kalasalingam Innovation Foundation, an enterprise for promoting innovation and startup ecosystem in our country. We welcome one and all, and we shall wait for another 4 minutes before we can commence the session. May I request all of you to be on mute and keep your videos turned off until further intimation. Good morning, Vishal. We will have...
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Kanna. We will have much older people or adults come and address us. But today it's going to... Yeah, good morning, Kanna.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Kanna. All of you are very, very good morning. But today it's very special. Good morning. Because we are going to have one amongst us, one of our own students, come and address you on his entrepreneurial journey. Good morning, Kanna. Good morning. A very, very happy morning to everyone. It's a bright and peppy Sunday morning, and a very, very hearty morning and happy morning from Curio Kids, Leaders in STEM Education, and the Kalasalingam Innovation Foundation, an initiative for promoting startup ecosystem in our country. We are just going to wait for some more time. Another 2 minutes to go before we start the session.
Good morning, Prajwal. This is your class teacher, Chanchal Chatterjee.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
All the best to all of you. All the students, kindly enjoy the session.
Good morning, sir.
Very, very good morning to all of you.
Good morning, sir.
Listening to you.
Good morning, sir.
Take it
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
That is very nice of you, sir, to have joined in. And I know everyone has been such a pillar of support to our Prajwal. And it
Yes,
is really
madam,
nice, and we are very happy to have you, join into the speaker series today.
I think it is my privilege to have my own student conducting such a wonderful program. God bless him and all our listeners, the audience. I'm sorry, some noise is happening around. So keep doing well, and it is my privilege, not only duty, to be present, because if you and me, we do not appreciate and encourage them, I think we are not doing our job. So all the best, Prajwal. Take it forward.
Thank you so much, sir. Very, very beautifully said.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Can we start?
Yeah. Okay. So
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. So now we are just hitting 10:35, and we will now move on into our session. And I would request, I am also joined today by the back-end webinar team, Mugilan from Curio Kids, Darshan from Curio Kids, and Mr. Vijay also from Curio Kids, and Nagalakshmi from Kalasalingam Innovation Foundation and Curio Kids. So very warm and hearty welcome. We are also joined by a very, very special speaker today. And before moving on to the star of the show, we will just set the precinct for today's webinar. So today's webinar is a power speaker series that is going to be chaired by a very, very special person. a person who's made very special because he's one amongst us, one amongst the student fraternity, and still has done something very, very stellar and has made wonderful achievements. So today I welcome one and all to the live webinar along with Master Prajwal on the topic of empowering entrepreneurial mindset in students. So welcome one and all. And this webinar is being powered by Curio Kids, Leaders in STEM Education, and the Kalasalingam Innovation Foundation, an enterprise for promoting startup ecosystem in our country. Before we commence this session, we will now play a small video on what is Curio Kids all about and the online platform dealer. Curio Kids is a company in STEM education. They offer curriculums, linked science programs, which are customized to every school and every student. We also offer a unique blend of AR learning tools to bring learning into reality for students, coupled with new age immersive VR learning and mixed reality learning tools as well. Besides this, Curio Kids also offers courses in robotics and emerging technologies. We offer capacity building programs in sciences and emerging technologies, work on setting up of STEM labs, and offer a whole host of curriculum courses in emerging technologies like IoT, Arduino boards, coding, 3D printing, and more. We also have one of its kind, the online learning platform DLearn, which offers gamified experiences to students as they learn various courses on emerging technologies. Our students have gone on to win in several forums at national and international levels, and we have the pride of having worked with more than 75 plus associates, both in and outside India. So we are very happy to welcome you once again to this Power Speaker webinar powered by Curio Kids, Leaders in STEM Education, and Kalasalingam Innovation Foundation, an enterprise for promoting the startup ecosystem in our country. Now, for the much awaited moment of today, wherein we will enter the speaker series and we will commence the session.
Hi, Prajwal. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you. Hello.
Very, very good morning, Prajwal. Good morning, everybody. I am Vijay Kumar, Director at Curio Kids. And as he was introduced, Prajwal will play the video shortly. We had prepared a nice video, which Prajwal had also personally liked. Some technical snag, we will overcome it. So, good morning and welcome to everybody, 150 odd people.
Sir, voice not audible.
150. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir, I'm able to hear you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so 150 odd people, and a special welcome to Prajwal's class teacher and a few classmates who might be in the call. Welcome, sir, and welcome everybody, and thank you for that. So as Naga had introduced, it's a very interesting meeting. Normally we have what do you call senior people who've worked, who've been business people, who are technical in some specialists in some area, etc. Today, as Naga introduced, we have somebody who's our own, my dear students, which is Prajwal, because he himself is a class 10 student. He is a student like one of you, and importantly, somebody who's a student entrepreneur, and he's going to talk to us about empowering entrepreneurial mindset. We thought it would be an excellent idea to have one of our own students who's going to talk about it and who has proved it. And that will be a great motivating factor to many of you in this meeting who probably have seen your parents, grandparents, some relatives, neighbors from very, very close quarters who have become successful business people and maybe aspiring to do it. So we have Prajwal here, who's going to today talk to us about his journey, starting from with his own background to his family background, how he's moved up the value chain, and how he's an entrepreneur today, apart from being a very strong and grounded student. So over the next 30-40 minutes, we will discuss with Prajwal about his journey, and we can ask questions. A few points I want to tell upfront. I'm sure all of you will have many questions. I'm already seeing the enthusiasm in the crowd. Please send in your questions to Curio Kids host via chat. We will group all the questions and ask them towards the end to Prajwal. I would request you to do that and ask the questions to this channel. At the very end, we will run a poll. There will be two polls. One is a feedback on the event, and two is to confirm the participation details so that we can send you the certificates. And lastly, we will take an online photo op with all of you. So please be there and don't drop off after the polls. I see several screens running, 5-6 screens of people. So we will take photo ops with all of you there and we will publish that as well. So without taking too much more time, Prajwal, over to you briefly about your teacher is also there. So something more about your background, your school, your family, your other interests. Over to you, Prajwal.
Thank you so much, sir. A very good morning to one and all present here. And firstly, I would like to thank Curio Kids for this wonderful opportunity in order for me to be able to present myself in this particular web.
Can everybody go on mute, please?
Sir, I think you're muted too. Okay. A very good morning to one and all present here. A special thank you to Curio Kids for giving me this special opportunity in order for me to be able to present myself in this particular webinar. A bit about my introduction. My name is Prajwal H. Short introduction, isn't it? Well, this was my introduction before I became an entrepreneur. After becoming an entrepreneur, my life has changed and so has my introduction. So here it is, my complete introduction. Hello, I'm a young innovator and entrepreneur named Prajwal H, currently studying in PGS National Public School in grade 10. I am the co-founder of Cloud Attack EduTech Private Limited. I've been recognized as India's youngest Microsoft certified Azure AI engineer by the India Book of Records and also as India's top 20 under 20 by the Brainfeed India magazine and White Canvas India. I, like many of you here, am from a middle class family. And I was not born with a silver spoon, but my parents were definitely my iron pillars, and they helped me in so many ways. And the same follows with my school as well. They've given me opportunities like none other and has given me a platform to exhibit my talent. I am a person who's fallen in love with the combination of tech and entrepreneurship. I have 6 plus Microsoft Azure certifications, including being a certified Microsoft Azure AI Engineer Associate, Azure Data Scientist, certified Azure Administrator, and to sum it all up, I'm a Microsoft certified trainer. Along with that, I am also a certified Python programmer. Coming to the management level, I am a certified Scrum Master and a certified product owner. I was awarded as a water hero by Jal Shakti Government of India at the national level contest. I've been featured in many newspapers like the Times of India, The Hindu, Global Indian, Brainfeed India magazine, Analytics India magazine, etc. And I've also won many other international and national levels of vast recognition in various competitions. Well, surprisingly, I started this journey towards technology by actually dismantling toys. Sounds silly, but it is true. I was always curious to know how things worked, and my favorite part of a toy was actually being able to dismantle it after it broke down, and I would understand how things in it worked. And from there, from that particular stage, here I am sitting in front of you, delivering this webinar on entrepreneurship and also having many other tech certifications under my pocket. In this adventurous webinar, I will continuously remind you all of one particular thing, and that is if I can do it, then why can't you?
Absolutely, Prajwal. Very, very nice to hear very briefly how you have moved from a kid that used to break down toys to see what is there inside to somebody who started a company and being the youngest Microsoft certified AI engineer, and 20 among the top 20 young entrepreneurs in India. So very, very creditable and successful one. A very curious question I have, right? I mean, you have to juggle between school, your business, and maybe a few other interests. So, how is your daily routine like for all the fellow students to know from the time you get up to till you go to sleep, if at all you sleep? How is your daily routine like? Yeah.
Sure. So first of all, a day in the life of an entrepreneur is focused on utilizing every hour to its fullest capacity with no time wasted. Well, my normal day goes like any other student in this particular session till 3 p.m. And sometimes
Okay.
even I feel that 24 hours is not enough for me in a particular day. Well, to just start off, like you said, from the time I wake up till I sleep, I wake up at 6 in the morning and get ready for school. And I'm back from school at 3 p.m. And that is when I transition as an entrepreneur from a student.
Okay.
Boredom is the most powerful tool, and I have a firm belief on this. This is because whenever we are concentrated on one thing, we only think about that particular topic. But when we are bored, we tend to think about many other things that are around us. We think about other possibilities that we never thought existed, or rather, that were never in our mind. I think about ideas even when I'm having a shower. And guess what? That's the best time where I get to solve a lot of problems and I am filled with ideas at that particular instant because I am bored. I don't have anything to do. So I think about the problems, about the observations I've seen throughout the day. And that's when I come up with a lot of ideas. Later, I work on my startup called Cloud Attack and I have meetings with the team. I connect with the team. I conduct interviews to hire new resources and I do a lot of other stuff, including connecting with the team for updates, etc. Also, I would like to mention that there have been days during the pandemic times that I've sat continuously in front of my PC from around 6 a.m. in the morning to around 8 p.m. in the night, and I haven't took a single break between that. And after I took a break of 1 hour, I sat at 9 and got up at 12 a.m. again. The struggle I did back then is giving me the luxuries I live today. I had back to back competitions, online classes. I had many other competitions, events going on parallelly, which made my day so long. And this day was actually one of the most exciting for me because I got to do what I loved. When you're working for other people, the reward for hard work is usually just more work. Work that you might not always like doing. However, when you're working for yourself as an entrepreneur, you are rewarded with even more work. What a joke, right? But here's the twist, you're rewarded with what you love doing. You are rewarded with work that you are passionate in doing. And believe me, there's a fairly less chance of getting exhausted when you're doing your favorite thing, or especially if it is as exciting to you as entrepreneurship is to me. Also, I'm a night owl who loves working till late night because that's when I feel my day is completely utilized and I feel satisfaction of using my day till the best. I work till late night because I have that peace of mind that I've completed everything else in the day and I sit for solving problems and doing things that require a lot of my mental presence in the late night because I get to think. Again, the same rule, because I'm bored, I explore other opportunities and I find out ways of doing stuff that I never thought existed before. And that's why I am a night owl person as well.
That's pretty good, Prajwal. So you have a packed day from something like 6 a.m. till 12 in the night. Some very valuable takeaways that you made, which I was also noting down. One is, I'm sure every parent and every school teacher teaches that is, you should never waste your time, right? And the fact that you are a normal school going student from morning till 3 p.m. and then you wear the other hat of an entrepreneur in the afternoon. So there is absolutely no compromise between schooling and doing something entrepreneurial. And the point is, what you suggested is use your passion and run behind it to convert it into a business opportunity. and there is a great amount of value if you work for yourself on a passionate topic. Also, the fact that you are a night owl, I'm not suggesting in this meeting all children here should be night owls, but whatever we all feel is the strong point of our day. For some, it can be 4 in the morning. Really use that time to do very, very critical things, both school related as well as about your other interests and entrepreneurship, and how you converted boredom into a very, very valuable tool. That's something very, very exciting about it. Thank you on that, Prajwal, and I already see some questions coming for you. Here again, my request to everybody, please send it to our ID Curio Kids post. We will collate everything and then group them and ask Prajwal one by one so that the entire group benefits out of it. So, Prajwal, that was a pretty interesting thing. You said entrepreneurship, you've been talking about it for the last 2 minutes or 5 minutes. Can you talk to us a little bit about your business, how it started, and what you do in that, etc.? Yeah.
Sure, sir. So, as you have already heard from me, I was interested in technology since a very young age. From back when I was around 10 or 7 years old, I was into tech. And I learned programming or the basics of programming from my dad. And when I tried learning HTML on my own, I actually ended up underestimating the power it possessed. Now, for those of you who don't know, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and it's the language that is used to create the UI of websites that we see today. And while learning that, I thought, why would I want to spend so much on time of doing so much of time on doing something that I can easily do on something like a Word document? Well, then that is where my dad pitched in and he taught me persistence. Persistence for coming into a logical end before giving up, or persistence of coming to a logical end before actually judging on anything that you're trying to learn. And then with his assistance, I learned C in deep. I learned up to an extent where I could easily juggle with pointers as well. And this is considered as a very high level topic in programming, as especially for a beginner. And with the help of the persistence and perseverance I had towards learning it, I discovered wonderful opportunities that it possessed, and I discovered the wonders it can do. Later, I learned C++ in deep as well, and I got interested into robotics. Now, robotics was a star for me that connected both my passion in electronics and programming together to get something out of it which is nothing like another. I mastered robotics with the help of Tech Play Learn, and again, like I always have said, I learned it in deep, everything in it, and as much as I could from my teachers, my mentors. After that, I also learned Python. I'm sure a lot of you people would have heard on about Python. And after learning all of this, I wanted to test my skills. I wanted to see how good I actually was at all of this stuff. So I decided to take something called as a certification exam. Through this exam, you can certify that you know this particular topic and you can see how proficient you are in it. I got myself certified in Python, that is to the PCEP Python certification at the age of 13, and I banged a 97% score on this particular exam. Also, throughout this journey, in a lot of instances, I've been a self learner at many things. Because in life, we can't always expect someone to come teach us things, or rather, we can't always expect to have a teacher with us all during our lifetime. There are some topics that we need to learn on our own, and some places where we need to become our own teachers. And most importantly, we have the internet, all the internet to us. We have loads of information there through which we can learn anything we want, and I made use of exactly that. To give you an example, a lot of people have this perception that if you want to learn business, you have to go into a bachelor's degree, or say you have to get into an MBA. But that's why students back off when it comes to hearing the word business, or rather starting a business. But guess what? You can start a business and know everything about it just from the internet. And that's the beauty of the world we live in today. So I highly encourage everyone to use that opportunity that we have with us. Also, there was this nice initiative that was introduced in our school called Atal Tinkering Labs. It stands as ATL, and it's an initiative by the Atal Innovation Mission. You can see the Atal Innovation Mission logo on my virtual background as well. And this particular initiative changed my life. It got me into a vision of being able to solve problems that the society faces using technology. Yes, before this, I used to make projects that were only fun to me or that had something to do with robotics that gave me joy. But after I got into ATL, I discovered my true vision, my purpose of being able to solve problems using technology. And later, while developing projects, I added on to the vision because I saw that technology is there everywhere, but it is not with everyone. That is where I understood that it is because the technology exists, but it's not always affordable. And that is why a lot of people are not able to use the trending solutions that are there out in the market. This is where I added to my vision to make technology affordable, to make all of my solutions I build for problems affordable so that almost all of the people, at least the middle class people, can easily afford it and use it in their day to day life to solve the problems that I am visioning to solve. Also, I am a person who climbs step by step. That is, I didn't get success overnight, or neither did I become an entrepreneur overnight. I had to climb step by step on it, and I did this by attending many competitions. I love to present my ideas in front of people, and this particular passion gave me another opportunity through which, in an Indo Russian program, that is an initiative by Atal Innovation Mission again, I met Bhavish Goswami, and she was my lead mentor in this particular program. We collaborated with Russian students and Indian students to make a product in 14 days and launch it live. Later, after the entire program, Bhavish Goswami sir contacted me and asked me if I was interested to listen to one of his ideas, his observation that he's seen. And to quote, Bhavish Goswami is the founder and CEO of CloudThat, that is a training and consultancy company of cloud computing here based in India and many other countries. They are an industry leader in cloud computing. Also, when he spoke to me about the idea, I was super excited. The next phase was for him to talk to my dad and get his approval. That's where I sat beside my dad and tried to convince him as much as Bhavesh sir did, and I actually got him to say a yes. My dad has always been very supportive, and he encouraged me to uptake this opportunity as well. And from there, we got another co-founder who is currently the CTO of Cloud Attack, whose name is Akash Pandey. We started from three co-founders, and proudly I can state today that we have 15 plus employees with us as a part of Cloud Attack, working towards one vision, and we are constantly hiring more resources almost every day. I always believe in one thing, that there are no full stops in success. There are no full stops in success. There are only commas, because success is not a destination. Success is a journey. Also, in this journey, I can proudly say that I have become the first ever student in the history of Atal Innovation Mission to conduct a session for ATL Tinkerpreneur Boot Camp 2.0. Just a year ago, I used to attend such sessions from visionaries, from people from different domains, and this year I got an opportunity as the first ever student in the history of ATL, in the history of AIM, to actually be delivering a session on this particular topic. Also, to give you a little bit more brief about my company, Cloud Attack, I would like to ask you a question. Did you know that there are going to be around 2 million job vacancies only in the cloud computing domain by 2025? This is something that NASCOM has to say. We also know that a lot of engineers remain unemployed, right? We see that everywhere. And that is actually because of the skill gap, where students do not have the right in demand skills that they can monetize. And that's exactly, my friends, where Cloud Attack pitches in to save the day by stitching this skill gap together. We know that the youth is really interested in games, me being one of them. Cloud Attack aims to gamify the entire cloud learning experience. Instead of attending 8-hour, 5-day long trainings and reading hefty content, you can master the cloud by playing a game. You can compete with other players, you can clear levels, you can get yourself ranked on the leaderboard, and much more, and learn cloud computing in the most fun way possible. Our vision at Cloud Attack is to revolutionize the way people learn tech and establish ourselves as the industry leader in the tech skilling domain.
Excellent, Prajwal. Starting with your journey of becoming a tech entrepreneur or a techpreneur. Though not necessarily everybody should, as you rightly said, go behind tech. Just a small question, though I told people not to ask questions. How long has this journey been from learning C++ or C to starting this company? Would it be about 3 years?
Yes, sir. It's been about 3 years, and I think it's been one of the best years of my life as well.
Absolutely. So that is an important point for many of us in this meeting to take away. You made several points about having somebody to give you the initial support, yeah, to start learning. In your case, it was your father, and for many others, it could be one of their favorite teachers in school or their own cousins or brothers or anybody who can be a mentor, and also the soft aspects of perseverance. And you very rightly articulated the need for to learn very formally a few things in the beginning stages, how you went to that particular place to learn robotics. Something very similar to what people like us do in Curio Kids is to teach formally and build on the technical foundation of the students, so that they can build on your own, like exactly what you have done on self-learning from internet. It is like saying once set into momentum, things will start rolling on its own, right? So that initial push from a near and dear and learning the technical foundation wonderfully is again provided by the adult tinkering lab in your school. I'm sure wherein it will give you a great opportunity to test. A lot of students in this group also are exposed to adult tinkering labs or their own STEM lab or robotics program in their schools. I'm sure that will really excite them to go back tomorrow, Monday, and the days after to start tinkering around in these labs to come out with fantastic projects, which they can take to competitions like what you did. That's the place where you really see where you are, you meet new people, see new things, and why not also find a potential business partner like what you did in one of your meetings. So I would urge all the students to keep in mind this key takeaway, and which I'm sure will help a lot of them in their journey of becoming an entrepreneur in tech, non-tech, or even getting into fantastic jobs in their careers if they aspire to do so. So that's very wonderfully said and all that. But starting a company is no joke. Running a company is even tougher to do once you start, right? And today you have several people and you're adding almost a person a week. So if what are your points for the people in this room about what the key steps one needs to take in setting up a business, Prajwal? That will be very useful. You've set it up, you have a growing team. So what are the points you want to share with the other young minds in this room?
Yes, so the first thing I would like to start by saying is that you have to dream before your dreams can come true. The important aspect that a lot of people miss on is to actually dream, because they are too scared of what will happen next. They feel that the dream that they have in themselves is just too big to accomplish, and that's when we lose out right there without even giving a try. And coming back into the business perspective, the first very important point that I would like to make is that capital is secondary. Yes, you heard me right. The capital, the money required in order to start your business is something that is secondary. And the most important thing for you right now is to actually get a problem that excites you. I've seen a lot of people just giving up thinking that they don't have the required capital for your business. Or I've also like to make a point here that don't give up thinking that you don't have the required capital for starting the business that you aspire. All of that comes later on. The first thing you need to concentrate on is to get a problem that excites you, a problem that you're passionate to solve, a problem that you're eager to solve and expose to the entire world outside. Work on the problem. See if it is faced by other people too. And most importantly, collect data. As we know, data is king in today's world. Facebook to you, Instagram, and all of these other apps like WhatsApp, Snapchat is free to you because they have your data. Data is in today's world a gold mine. Collect data. collect statistics, and most importantly, understand the market potential of the problem you are trying to solve. After all of this, if the problem is still exciting to you, come up with a solution and don't stop there. Test the solution. But again, test the solution with people facing the problem you're trying to solve. Don't try to test your solution with people who are nowhere related to the problem, with the people who have never seen the problem you're trying to solve. Go to the people who are facing this problem on a daily basis. Go to this problem go to the people whom you've seen facing this problem, who are your inspiration to come up with a solution, and ask them if your particular presented solution is good enough. Get their feedback and work upon it. Nothing will come in your first try. That is very, very rare and almost impossible. The only way to success is persistence, and is to keep trying, to keep reiterating your solution, getting a version that was much better than the previous one every single time. And also, you need to be able to actually understand and implement constructive feedback, because a solution that you think is awesome, right, might be actually useless to a person that you're actually solving that problem for. For example, if you're solving a problem for any person in any particular place, then go and talk to that person. And that person, it's completely okay if that person doesn't like your solution, because at the end of the day, you're solving it for him or her. So go talk to that person, understand with them, and empathize with them. Put yourself in their shoes and understand what they are going through. After all of this, after you have come out with a firm solution, and after you have got user feedback, you know that people are going to accept the solution once it's in the market. See how you can generate revenue from the solution. I know social entrepreneurship is about solving problems, but what is also important is to sustain your business, because you'll only be able to solve the problem until and unless your business is up and running. And how you're going to do that is through revenue. You need to give salaries to people, you need to pay for an X amount of things, and that's where revenue pitches in. Estimate how much you could make, and don't fear about being money minded in this particular process, because every penny when making a startup, while growing a startup, is equivalent to $1 million, and that is the value that you should walk with. Pitch your solution for pre-seed funding, and this is where your capital perspective comes into play. This is where you have the opportunity of actually being able to raise capital for your business and get a head start in it. Go for pre-seed funding rounds. Try again and again, because I'm sure no investor is going to agree to what you have said in the first round. Learn from every single pitch that you have delivered and work on your pitch. Work on the way you're presenting your idea, or rather, work on your idea itself. Also, make sure that the person funding you gives you an open ground to fail. Fail harder, get up again, and try again. And once you get funded is when the real game starts. That's when you need to assemble a team who has a common vision, who's sharing the vision you see, and you need to start working on that particular vision. You need to convince people to work with you. You need to gain their trust. And that's when you need to fail. You need to fail again and again and get up again. Try harder. And that's when you actually get successful at establishing a particular business. There's going to be a lot of problems coming onto your way in this journey, but that's when your persistence takes a test, and that's where you need to keep going, finding solutions for yourself, because you have the passion to make this a big thing, because you have the will to make this a leader in whatever you're doing.
Thank you, Prajwal, once again for these very, very powerful points. So I'm sure a lot of people, you will be having questions. I see a lot of comments floating on the screen. So please, again, as I keep repeating, send it to Curio Kids post, and we will pick up the questions. So very important point, Prajwal, is about dreaming big. Failure is good, but you need to have the persistence to keep getting up and running. Solving a problem which has a larger impact or impact on a larger community or a group of people is something that will translate into a tangible business idea. That's a point very, very well made, because it should not be something just pleasing to us, but it should be benefiting or solving a communal problem or doing something differently that has not been done. so that there is a market potential from a business angle, and we should take constructive feedback or feedback constructively from people, and eventually when you have people, they should sign up, or you should be able to convince them to work towards achieving your vision. And obviously, the funding and the revenue, profits, and all that will come, which is a separate subject in itself. But these are very powerful and important statements that you've made, and I'm sure it has excited the people, the other students in this. I'm sure some of them will really get into action right after the meeting with a great many ideas that everybody has. Even if one person, each and every person has one idea, we are talking about 150, 160 ideas, which is fairly big, and that can really bring about a lot of new business opportunities out here. So while you have said all this, but why did you want to become an entrepreneur, right? What is something I think you touched upon it briefly, but for the larger good, maybe very crisply. Why did you want to become an entrepreneur? It's something we would like to hear from you.
So I have an one and only answer for this. I wanted to become an entrepreneur because I wanted to rule.
Okay.
And this doesn't mean that I wanted to boss around others and not have any bosses at all. Even entrepreneurs are themselves answerable to their employees and their partners. And even if someone asked me why they would want to become an entrepreneur, I would say become an entrepreneur if you want to rule your professional lives and career on your terms. Become an entrepreneur if you want to rule over problems by finding solutions for them. Become an entrepreneur if you want to rule over your passion and if you want to help others solve the problems that they face. And at last, concluding, become an entrepreneur if you want to rule the world as a king in what you're doing.
All right. Very sharply and succinctly put, but with a lot of power messaging that goes into all these things. Any other words of wisdom for the community here? You did talk quite a bit about it, because any other takeaways you want to share for the fellow students in this room? You made several points. I try to keep summarizing it apart from your talking about it. Any other takeaways for them? How do I look at it? Before I do the reverse of playing your video at the end, instead of playing it at the beginning, because that didn't come out, whatever was a slight technical glitch, they have addressed it. If you have any other points, you can share it. Then I will ask Mugil to play that video that we had prepared on you. Yeah.
Sure, sir. So I would just like to take out some time for the session for actually coming to what we have, the main aspect of what I wanted to deliver here. And that is about the right mindset for a student if that student wants to become an entrepreneur. What should that student do and what should the journey of that student look like? What should the mindset of that student exactly look like? First of all, I would like to start out by saying that being an entrepreneur, it's not important for you to do great things. What's important for you is to do small things in a great way. So that is something that I firmly believe in. And the second thing is, don't be afraid of being young. Use that as an opportunity. Use that as something that you can, use it as your advantage. And that's where I would like to say that age is just a number. You have to dream before your dreams can come true, as I already said. And that's when you will actually get onto the field and execute your passion the way you like it. Don't worry about your age, no matter what your age is. The first rule of entrepreneurship remains the same: just start. Also, research shows that developing an entrepreneurial mindset helps students engage in school, boost educational performance, and is valued by employers. But there's one thing in this entire research study that I highly contradict to. As an entrepreneur, you shouldn't be focused on being valued by employers. Rather, focus on being an employer. That's where you need to have a little bit of knowledge on everything. And that's a very important skill for an entrepreneur. As I mentioned, I might love tech and I might know a lot about technology. But if I don't know anything about business, then I'm not an entrepreneur at all. And at the same time, if I don't know anything about marketing, sales, then tomorrow when I want to assemble a team for marketing, how am I going to hire the right person? How am I going to hire the right sales manager for my particular team? That's where I need to know a little bit of everything. If I don't know how to recruit people, then how am I tomorrow going to recruit a recruiter or a HR person who's going to do the recruiting for me when we are expanding? That's where you need to have a little cream layer of knowledge, a little bit of experience on everything, at least enough that you can judge other skills, and at the same time, you can see the impact that they have the vision to create using their skills. Upskilling yourself is extremely important, guys, to keep yourself ahead in the market. And that's why I keep learning and getting certified, and that's something I encourage all of you to do. Never ever ever in your life stop the learning curve, whether it's in academics, whether it's in your passion, or whether it is in any other aspect of life. Keep learning and keep experiencing what you've learned. Try gaining experience implementing what you've learned in various other places, and that's where you make the best use of what you've learned. As I already mentioned in the start, just start. That's the first, foremost, and most important rule of being an entrepreneur. Well, I'd like to quote one message that Buddha gave us, that as humans, our biggest mistake is to think that we have time. And that's not at all true, because we do not have time, and that's the reality. A lot of people procrastinate for being an entrepreneur, and it's not only entrepreneurship, for following their passion. That, you know what, I'm just 15, 13, 16 years old, I'll do it in my 20s, and that goes on to doing it in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and at a point where you're too scared to take a risk. And that's when you lose out on $1 billion opportunity that you could have captured. You lose out on the opportunity for following your passion, for being a better version of yourself. So the first and foremost rule of entrepreneurship, or the first and foremost rule of being in your passion, or rather following your passion, is to just start now. Start early and take small steps at a time. You don't have to climb the entire mountain at once. Take step by step actions, work on them, iterate on them, and see where it's taken you in a long run. Also, it's very important to not give up. To quote an example, one of my very first competitions that I attended was called Shrijan. And just minutes before I presented my idea in this particular competition, I was told that because of my age, I would not be judged at all. This competition was meant for college students and for graduates, but I still applied because I wanted to present my idea there. And just minutes before, I was told that I will not be judged. And that would be so demotivating for anyone, right? But then I took this as an opportunity, and I didn't give up at that particular instant. I still gave my best at that particular competition. And in the end, after presenting my idea, I left the jury awestruck. That's where in the final prize distribution ceremony, they actually created a separate category only for the juniors, and I was awarded the first prize there. And the name of the competition is called Shrijan. So that is the best example that I give to myself for not giving up. If that instant I would have given up and just say disconnect from the meeting, or would have rather even not presented my idea, then I would have never got the opportunities I have got after that. If you fail, never give up, because fail means first attempt in learning. And this is the important thing you need to remember being an entrepreneur. It's very important for us to make the most out of every opportunity, because opportunities don't come to us every day. To give you an example, I got this competition online from LinkedIn called InnoVenture, where I participated, and I actually ended up getting the first prize. But you know what? This competition was something new. It was not about technology, it was rather about business, and they had many rounds. I always would have been scared about what would have happened if I messed up, because it was one of my very first time actually giving a business pitch live. And that's where I took this as an opportunity for myself. And I actually ended up getting the national rank one in this particular competition. As an entrepreneur, it's very important for you to not wait for opportunities to come to you. As I always say, opportunities knock on your door only once. And after that, it's your responsibility to go out there and find some more opportunities for yourself. And you're an entrepreneur. If you don't find any opportunities, then create opportunities for yourself and the others. Take every opportunity to be and use it to the max. Use every problem you see around you as an opportunity and be a great observer. Again, giving a small example from my life itself, I was going on the road and I saw a lot of potholes. What a common story, right? But then I observed the potholes. I came back home and I did the research. I did the homework. I understood why these potholes were not being fixed. And I took this very small problem of a pothole as an opportunity for myself. And that's won me many competitions. The project I presented for this was called Fix Me, a simple app where you can report problems like potholes with exact geographical locations. Why the solution? Because the government has enough resources to fix them, but the government doesn't know where these problems exist. And that's when we started covering 60 or 80 plus different civic issues and gave options to other people to actually register their own complaints to the government. And this particular project got me the title of the top 20 innovators in the ATL Marathon 2019 and has unlocked many doors for me in in this journey of mine. Therefore, being an entrepreneur, use every opportunity. Be a great observer and most importantly, be down to earth. Because as soon as you get something called as ego in you, you will stop learning everything. You will stop learning and rather boost over your overconfidence. And that's when you actually, your learning curve, your success goes downhill. So always be down to earth and try learning from everywhere, from everyone, irrespective of who they are. Try learning and be down to earth. And that is something as a skill I have personally learned from one of my inspirations, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Even after being such a great personality, he was so down to earth, and that's why we all love him. So be down to earth and have the entrepreneurial mindset. Just start right now.
Thanks, Prajwal.
ATL class சொல்லிட்டாங்கம்மா.
Thanks, Prajwal, for these very, very strong and perfect messages. I'm sure the team here would be very much enthused by these points, and they will imbibe the inputs in their own entrepreneurial journey. There were some questions also on this, which in a way you've already answered, right? Somebody had asked, what is your inspiration? Who is your inspiration? You did talk about the teachings of Buddha, and now you took the name of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam as well. And somebody had asked about what was one of your major projects and that gave you the breakthrough. You talked about these potholes in the city, which for somebody, if you keep watching the English news regularly, you will know it's unfortunate I'm saying this, but about some very, very major accidents in the roads of Bangalore, almost every once a week or more during the rainy season. So you've really addressed a very strong problem out there about societal problems, which has really taken you to great levels. And that is the opportunity that you said will be provided to everybody once in a lifetime, which I probably think is what was provided to you. And you took, I wouldn't say took advantage, you leveraged that to go to greater heights using that. So quite a few questions were there. I know I can ask you a lot many questions, and I'm sure you will have answers up your sleeve for everything. But we have certain time limitations, and so I thought probably there will be a few more questions that has come up that I will ask, 3 or 4 questions, and if I missed out on anything, I'm sure the team here will alert me. Post which we can go for that video, and all of you, please remember there is a poll after this and a photo shoot. So please be available for that. Somebody had asked, what is your first invention?
My first invention. Okay, so as an entrepreneur, first thing is that it's not important that you need to invent something completely new. as an entrepreneur, the most important thing is to getting it to scale. There might be a solution in some other country, but if they're not using that solution, right, as an entrepreneur, it's your responsibility to scale that solution and deliver it to the mass public. And I think one of my first for that would be the UTI SWT, ultrasonic technology integrated smart water tap, through which I've actually been able to learn a lot of things. That's where I also got my vision of making things affordable, and that was my one of my very first inventions.
Okay, okay. And what has been your best invention? I will slightly modify it, saying that what is your best project or initiative instead of an invention? Maybe you can answer it that way. That was the other question. What is your best or what you like the most in terms of what you've done?
So I think for this answer would be my current startup called Cloud Attack Edutech Private Limited. And because Cloud Attack is something that's very close to my heart, most
Okay.
importantly, it's because I have learned the most out of Cloud Attacks than I have anywhere else. It's an
Right.
opportunity that came very surprisingly to me, and it's because I leveraged it that I'm actually standing in front of you giving this session as a student entrepreneur. So I think one of my best and one of my most favorite projects till date has been Cloud Attack.
Okay, okay, okay. That's pretty good. What was your first application that you developed using coding? You did talk a lot about Python, C++
Mhm.
every day. So one of the questions from fellow students is, what is your first application that you developed? Something tangible, interesting application.
Sure. So my first application that I actually developed was called the was called COVID-19 aid, and this was something I developed during the pandemic, during the lockdown, and this was something that came out before Arogya Setu, etc. So this was in the very initial stage of lockdown, when, as I
Okay.
tell, boredom is the most powerful tool. I was bored at home. I wanted to say make something. That's when I started research on COVID-19. Saw that there were so many myths around in the internet. I used to get a WhatsApp forward every day with and contradicting news about coronavirus that I knew was not true. And also there would be people scared if they actually might be in the risk of being infected with COVID, whether they need to get tested, etc. So
Yeah.
that's where I came up with the idea of COVID-19 app. And this particular app, when the MIT Coronavirus App Challenge in the teens category, and this is a very prestigious competition by Massachusetts Institute of Technology. So again, quoting
Okay.
this as an example, the small opportunity, it took me not more than 14 or 15 days, 2 weeks to make this application, got me published into a newspaper that is the Times of India. So
Okay.
these small parallel activities actually get you higher and higher. So I think that was one of my very first applications I built in this journey.
Fantastic. So MIT from the US, the kind of what do you call it, visibility that gives, and naturally an article in the newspaper like Times of India, very very useful. But that actually takes me to one question, which quite frankly I missed out asking you. I'm sure a lot of other students will be thinking about is the importance of networking. You did touch upon it by participating in competitions. And what are the various platforms available to them? You have seen through and walked the road, right? If there are some inspiring individuals here, I'm sure there are many. What are the platforms available for them to engage, both digital and physical platforms?
Sure. So the number one digital platform I'd like to talk about, it's a social media platform. I'm sure a lot of you people have heard about this. It's called LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the place for you to be to build your professional profile and show the world what you can do. You can network with a lot of people whom you probably never met in person, but they are there to help you. It's that social professional network I feel everyone needs.
Yeah.
And just
Hey,
setting some background
can
noise.
you put everybody on mute, please?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So just continuing with what I was saying, I think LinkedIn is the platform to be on for all of the, aspirational professionals here out in this session. And just to quote, I have people in my connection. So I have around 3,000 plus connections on my LinkedIn profile. I have connections with various chief officers of various multinational giant tech companies of various, say, vice presidents of, say, Kendall, etc., and many other companies. And I've never met them in person, but whenever I require their help or whenever I need their guidance, I know they're there for me on LinkedIn. I can always text them and I can reach out to them really easily. So build a solid profile on LinkedIn. You can refer my profile as well. You can go to LinkedIn and search Prajwal and Hedge. So build a solid profile on LinkedIn that justifies all of your talent, and at the same time that gives justice to whatever you have done in this journey. It's going to help you a lot. That's the best place to network. Most importantly, they don't have anything that is unprofessional and that is unrequired that usually other social media platforms have. Coming to the physical interactions, the physical, I mean, the physical places where you can network would be again the same place, competitions. Because in a competition, when you're presenting your idea, if the jury likes your idea enough, then you actually have say a partner with you, an investor with you right there. The jury, sometimes this has even happened to me a lot of times, that the jury later contacts you, gives you feedback, they said, I want to be a part of this initiative, etc. So that's where competitions is a very important phase where you can network. You meet other people, other contestants, because when you're in that level, when you're in the finals, all the other people there with you also are almost as much as capable as you are. And that's when you get a network that you can build with them. You can pitch your idea, you might like their ideas as well, and you can network together. So I think competitions and LinkedIn is the best place to network in terms of being an entrepreneur or developing your professional network.
All right. In the beginning, we started about how do you manage school and work balance. You spoke about it. Somebody has asked school, work, and health balance, right? In this day and age, especially last 2 years, many people or many, even the youngsters would not have been moving around a lot. So somebody has asked about health balance. So do you do any kind of, have any fitness regimen? You're keen into any sports? Are you into things like that? You may want to share it with the team.
Definitely, sir. So I'm definitely into, I mean, I am a very health-centric person as well. And it was actually during this COVID times that I'm sure a lot of us would not have any physical activities. But as I mentioned, it was also my boost time. So that's when I actually understood the importance of eating healthy. And that's actually when I became more health-centric as well. And I'll divide this into two sections. Number one is physical health and second is mental health. In terms of physical health, number one thing I do is I eat healthy. I try to avoid junk food as much as possible. As much as I love it, I try to avoid it at least at home. And I like and or rather prefer homemade food everywhere. And in terms of physical health, I also say, for example, spend out some time of my day to meditate early in the mornings as soon as I wake up. And I usually do some other physical activities at home. This can include even, say, dancing at home, anything. And I think that's very important for all of us. Playing badminton with your friends, or since now even school has started, at the same time you get to do a lot of sports activities in school as well. I enroll myself for them as well as much as possible and actively participate. That's about my physical health. And coming to the mental health perspective, I think again, speaking about this, mental health is very important. During the pandemic, we've seen that mental health has been sort of on the downside for a lot of people because you were only at home, you wouldn't get to talk with people. But I think that's where we need to adopt to the paradigm shift. Paradigm shift is like a flowing river. The more you try to go against it, the more it's going to require your energy, and it's just going to hurt. So go with the flow and leverage that to your advantage. For example, we could not meet our friends, right? But at the same time, you could talk to them. You have platforms like Google Meet where you can talk to them almost every day, anytime you want, and you can pretty much see each other. That physical interaction is missing, but something is better than nothing. And at the same time, it's very important for you to inherit from, sorry, it's very important for you to inherit from others' experiences, because what you're going through, a lot of other people would have gone through it as well. So stay with your friends and probably even read inspirational books that inspire you to do more, and take everything as your advantage. So one thing I always say about mental health is it's nothing but your mindset. If you aspire to be a better version of yourself, there is nothing, believe me, nothing in this world that you can stop you from that particular thing. There's nothing in this world that can put a full stop to you becoming a better version of yourself. So during this pandemic, you were all at home. We could actually use that particular time into developing ourselves into something better. So I think it's the mindset that matters. Have a positive mindset, a positive attitude towards everything, and that's something I've been doing from a long period of time, and it's probably been a routine in my life. And that's, I think, more about the health segment on to my journey.
Right, all right. That's pretty interesting. And there were a few personal questions. Somebody asked, "What is your SSLC or 10th marks?" But I don't think you have appeared for the
No, I've
exam
not
yet.
appeared for the boards right now.
Okay, okay. So maybe if I will probably pause the button here because I have to respect everybody's time. I'm already overshot if I were to say by 4 minutes. And maybe we'll quickly play your video right now and then conduct the polls. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Prajwal. But I'll come back to you in 2 minutes once the
Sure,
video
sir.
is done. Yeah. Thank you.
As a student, we have big dreams for our lives. Most of us don't realize that achieving big needs bigger efforts. People have a strong will to win, but only a few have the will to prepare to win. Among that is our young innovator and entrepreneur, Prajwal NH. At a very young age, Prajwal used to be very much interested in electronics and robotics. Having an immense passion for electronics and coding, he has been learning coding for 3 years and has a keen interest in building apps that have social implications and help solve problems that people face on a daily basis. He has developed many apps that are economical solutions to bigger problems like water scarcity or road safety. Learning the nuances of entrepreneurship at such a young age, Prajwal has now turned into a social entrepreneur and he co-founded Cloud Attack, a cloud computing solutions and consulting company. Curio Kids, together with the Kalasalingam Innovation Foundation, are really happy to have Prajwal as the power speaker for our today's webinar, Empowering Entrepreneurial Mindset in Students. A very hearty welcome to you, Prajwal. Over to you.
Thank you, team, for preparing that video. Yeah, as I said, we should have played it earlier, and but obviously, I mean, there was a technical glitch out there, so we had to play it at the very end. This kind of also summarizes what you have done, and it did showcase about the Times of India article, how you have solved social problems, etc. Prajwal. So really, hats off to you on this, and I'm sure you would have been in this 1 hour or so a source of inspiration to many of the other fellow students in the meeting, and also giving them the feeling that yes, we can. I see a lot of messages popping up saying thank you, well done, super, and all that. So it's really happy to note that it's having the kind of effect that we all expected this to be, and we will do that. So maybe we will go with the poll. Just bear with me for 2 minutes, and then I will come on to the what I would call as the vote of thanks. So if I would request everybody to answer these questions, there will be one other poll along with this. So that will be of great use to me. Yeah. And we will be sending out the certificates to all the participants out there. Yeah.
Sure, sir. And sir, just before the vote of thanks, I would like to request to give a small conclusion message from my end as well.
Please.
Sure, sir.
As the, right after the poll, you can do that, and then
Sure,
we
sir.
will thank you for saying.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I mean, while this happens, Prajwal, you want to share something, you can do that while people keep filling the forms at the back end.
Sure, sir. So I just would like to, conclude this entire webinar from my end by
Okay.
telling all of you to define your own success. Be
Okay.
your own motivation and always inspire yourself. Take instances for your own from your own life and inherit from them, and at the same time try to see where you can fit those experiences, what you've learned from that time, into your current, into your present.
Yeah.
The most important thing in life is to define your own success, and I'm saying this because just because I've given this, say, webinar on entrepreneurship doesn't mean everyone has to be an entrepreneur. That doesn't mean everybody has to love technology. What's important and what I'm trying to convey through this webinar, most importantly, is to do what you love to do. And when you try to monetize the skills that you love doing, that you love exhibiting, you become an entrepreneur right there.
Correct.
That's why it is important to do what you love to do, because in the long run that is going to help you. Doing something you don't like, or for example, just because I am into technology doesn't mean that you should be forced into learning technology as well. If
Correct.
that's the case, go ahead, say no, and most importantly, do something and prove yourself in the talent that you possess, in something that you are interested in. And I'm sure no one will no one in that particular, in your entire journey hereafter, will object to you for something that you are passionate about. Prove yourself to others, and most importantly, first prove your skills to yourself, and then go ahead and write down the history of your success.
Okay, that's pretty inspiring. Last few words from you, Prajwal. I think it's really been useful, and we will also take some photo shoots before I give the
Sir,
vote
when
of
am I
thanks.
to submit the poll?
Sorry.
Yes, G, sir. We are not able to submit the poll, G.
Oh, some people are not able to submit the polls, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, we will look into it. Yeah. Thank you, people who raised that point. Yeah. That bit we will have it addressed.
Follow on move first, sir.
So we'll be able to submit the poll only if we write the school name as BGS NPS.
See, people who have problems, please respond in that WhatsApp chat group. You can post it there also. We will collect it. Not to worry. Those who are doing here by the Google Forms, absolutely fine. Those who cannot do, you can see that on your screen, all of you. WhatsApp chat. You can respond on that, and we will pick it up and collate the two at the back end. Not to worry. I hope that solves your problem. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So those were some very nice last few words from you, Prajwal. I'm sure it's pretty inspiring. And anyway, I see one message also from Churchill splashing there. So we will take a few photo ops. So I would request you all to keep your video on so that we can see you and take a few screenshots because we are on a webinar. So that will be very nice of you if you can all do that, please. And we will take a few snaps before we then get into the vote of thanks and close the meeting at 12 as we had targeted to. Naga, is that okay? Can everybody open, please? I do see still some without. We're just almost completing the photo shoot, so please keep the videos on. We have just one more, two more screens to be completed in terms of shoot. Thank you, Shri Giri Mahadevan. Thank you on behalf of Prajwal, Curio Kids, and Kalasalingam Innovation Foundation. Thank you for the message. And thank you many others. If I have not called out your name, I kept seeing so many messages. It's a little difficult for me to call out every name as it kept coming very rapidly. Yeah, I think we have completed the photos. You can now close your videos if you want to. Yeah. Kavya, you can see the poll. If you're not seeing it on here, just see the messages and you will see the WhatsApp link. You can send it to that link, no problem. We will pick it up. Yeah. So, just to, as a formal vote of thanks, Prajwal, many thanks to you for agreeing to come for this meeting on empowering entrepreneurial mindset. We wanted a youngster, preferably a school entrepreneur, and we were lucky to have you in this meeting because there is nothing better than peer-to-peer messaging. I can keep talking, as they say, right, till the cows come home, but there is nothing better than somebody in the peer group talking. And I'm sure you are a great source of inspiration to all the students here, and not only here, but the people that you keep meeting elsewhere also. A special word of thanks to your class teacher who took the pains to attend this meeting. Thank you, sir, for joining, and a couple of other classmates of yours who may have joined this meeting to support and encourage you and the greater team that is there in this group. I thank you, sir, once again for that. I also thank my colleagues from Curio Kids, Naga, Mugil, and Darshan for putting up a great show. And the Kalasalingam Innovation Foundation, which also comes under the larger Atal umbrella. People who are involved would know that, for bringing this program to the students along with Curio Kids. So thank you all for making it a success this Saturday morning. I wish you all a very, very good weekend. And from next week, probably we will get to hear a lot of our students in this meeting with their great many ideas, entrepreneurial ideas. All the best to all of you. And obviously all the very best to you, Prajwal, to reach much greater heights. And very quickly, we would like to see you starting one of the unicorns from, what is it, number 22 or 23 from India, and make us all proud. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Prajwal. Thank you. Have a good weekend and bye-bye.
Thank you so much, everyone, for patiently listening. And the pleasure is mine to be in the part of this wonderful session. And most importantly, thank you to every single person from my school who's attended this session, and Chansal sir especially, and also all of the participants for your love and for all of your feedback that you've given me. It's highly motivating. Thank you so much to each and every one of you.
Thank you, Prajwal. Thank you. The pleasure is ours. Thank you.
Welcome, Pradesh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, sir.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you,
sir.
All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, Prajwal.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Students, you were all wonderful.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your inspirational quote.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad you liked it.
Inspirational videos and motivation.
Sure. Thank you.
Already, Prajwal is from
Thank you,
Bangalore, not from SSK.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for your show. Thank you. Thank you for. Thank you, sir, for your motivation. I'm very busy. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Team, can we close the
We
meeting?
will take a snap. Thank you for your motivation.
Thank you so much for your patient listening.
Meet at a Great presentation.
Thank you.
Sir, who is your inspiration?
My inspiration, first of all, is my father, and after that, it's Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, Buddha, and a lot of other famous personalities.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir, for our.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, Roshan.
So Roshan is happy now. You said hi to him.
Sir, sir, what is your first project and how it will work, sir? Can you explain me?
Sure. So, like I told, my first project is called Smart Water Tap. That is full form is ultrasonic technology integrated smart water tap. The basic idea of the project was to make smart water taps affordable, so you can save water. And at the same time, there were some issues I found in existing smart water taps you see in hospitals, etc. So all of those technical issues, I solved them, and I made the product affordable as well. And that was one of my very first innovative projects for a social cause.
Sir, how it works, sir? Like how we can save the water, sir?
So it is a smart water tap. So for example, if you're using 5 liters of water to wash your hand normally, right? Using the smart water tap or using the UTI SWT, out of every 5 liters, you will use only 1 liter to wash your hand, because you will not leave the tap open all the time, and you would only use the water whenever you need it. That is when you place your hand below the tap. So that's how it mainly saves water. And since it saves water on a household level, the impact it creates is huge, and the scalability of it again increases. So that was how it works. And I mean, if you keep your hand below the sensor, it evacuates water.
Sir, then
This
how the
question.
coding platform works, sir? You
So
done
I
an
use
application.
something called Arduino for this. I'm sure a lot of you would have heard about it. It's a microcontroller. So it's another, I mean, it's another concept of robotics. That's where you can, get data from sensors, control many other electronic components. And the language I use for this is C and C++. Majority of, I mean, since our Arduino IDE supports C++, the language uses C++, and also I've used the Arduino IDE to code this out.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
he's based out of Bangalore to answer somebody's question. The message went away. Prajwal is based out of Bangalore.
Yep.
All right. So Prajwal, thank you. An informal thank you after the formal meeting. Maybe I will speak to you early next week. Okay.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much for the opportunity, sir. It'll be a very memorable one for me.
Pleasure is ours. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, everyone. Take care.
Thank you. Bye bye. You can leave now, Prajwal. Thank you.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.